Trader Joe's wine today. They didn't have a Fearless Flyer come out for a couple of months because of all the virus things going on, but they have one now, and they have new wines for May. And let me grab the bottle because this one's one of those Grand Reserve wines, which I always think are fun. And this is the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Chardonnay Napa Valley 2018 Lot 85, which is a nice long title for what is a pretty good wine. And I like the Trader Joe's Grand Reserves, even the Petite Reserves and all those type of things, because they can get some pretty decent wines at a pretty good cost. The Fearless Flyer says that this is comparable to wines twice the price. This is $12.99. So you're looking at $25 for Napa Valley Chardonnay. And that's not crazy because any kind of winery wine out of Napa Valley is going to be at least $25. You can get brand wines, especially for white wines, and out of there for cheaper for brand. But from a winery, you're going to pay the premium. And they said in the Fearless Flyer again, and they don't give a lot of information. And I'm going to take a sip because I haven't had one in a while, and it's a good wine. They said this is from one of their longtime Napa winery partners. So this isn't, according to them, it's a winery. Sometimes you can get these wines from a company that just makes wines for whoever wants them. If you have the money, you can call them up and say, I want a Chenin Blanc that's in oak for 6 months from this place. And they will say, okay, how many you want? 1 barrel, 2 barrels. And if you want to pay the price, they'll make you wine. In places like Aldi's, Trader Joe's, Costco, even your local grocery chain, they all buy wines from these places. And then there's other types where a actual winery usually has leftover wine. Especially in the lower end where they make a lot of wine. They have high-end wines where they only make 900 cases or something. And those hopefully always sell out for them. But the lower end, they should have some left over. And that's what this one seems to be. Now, I'm guessing that Trader Joe's has gotten pretty good at hiding who makes their wines for them over the years. I remember back in the early days of the cheapwinefinder.com, I would look at the back label and type it into Google search, and what their whatever they said about the wine, their description of the wine would come up as whoever made the wine. They would cut and paste from somebody else and go, oh, that's who made the wine. They don't do that anymore. And this one says behind the scene wine company out of Napa, and they've been making wines for Trader Joe's for, I don't know, about 10 years at least, without adding it up. So that's what's going on there. So this is a winery that from Napa that made a $26 Chardonnay. Somewhere along the line, maybe they sold it to somebody who then sold it to Trader Joe's somewhere along the line. That's my guess. Like I said, I don't know what's happening on it, but it seems to be, a Napa Chardonnay in the 20s. I'm going to take another sip because it's pretty good. And it's oaked. It's got malolactic. It's got oak. It's got all those creamy things going on. But I don't think it's over the top. It depends. If you like an oak Chardonnay, you're probably not going to like this. But if you like flavor and maybe a little weight on the palate, this is going to be a good one. It's got tons of flavor. It's got apricots and pineapples and lemons and limes and peaches and pears. Oh my. And and it's got cream. It's got the creme brulee thing going on. It's got tart flavors. It's got sweet flavors. It's got a little bit of sour flavors. It's got some sharper flavors. This is a pretty nice little Chardonnay for $12.99. And though I suspect that at some point it was supposed to be much more expensive, you never know. It could be the most pedestrian, wine ever made. And, but it's from Napa. There's a good chance. And they said it's a winery. They said it should be $26. I kind of believe them at this point, and it tastes like it too. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It seems like it has some decent oak flavor. You can tell by the color. There's a darker yellow to it. It has some oak influence going on. It has the malolactic, the rounded fruit. It has the anise where it's got a creamy thing going on. There has been some production techniques for this wine. And that's the difference between a $20 wine and a $10 wine. The $20 wine does more processes, which takes a little bit longer. It's 2018, doesn't take forever. To have the wine come together and balance out, where maybe a $9, $10 wine, this is a $12 one, $13 one, I guess, is going to come together a little sooner, can be sold quicker. And Trader Joe's can sell the wine quicker because these contract wines where they put their own name on it, they pay it up front. They buy whatever amount there is, they pay up front. No advertising. I mean, that all adds up. And so you get a better price. And I always think every time you get one of these Trader Joe's, there's even like $6 reserve wines, buy them. Take the chance. I noticed that there was like a Napa Valley one that was $20 a while back, which I didn't go for because, I can think of some really good Napa wines that don't cost that much more than $20. And here you're taking a chance on a wine that, you don't know who made it. But when it's $12, it's $9, it's not that expensive. The heck, what do you got to lose? At least you tried a wine that you wouldn't buy in a store. I think that's a pretty good deal. And that's what I like about these. Plus, since they don't give any information about the wine, my whole review, what I'm talking about the wine is just me with a flight of fancy trying to figure out who made it and why. And, it's all nonsense. I made it up basically, but it's a guesstimate probably more than anything. So there you go. I don't have too much else to say. The price is right. It's Napa style. There isn't any really inexpensive vineyards in Napa. I mean, the grapes are going to cost money if it's from Napa. And that's another thing I just want to touch on just briefly. I just been reading that there is a Cabernet Sauvignon glut in Napa. They have way too much. So you're going to be seeing places like Aldi, Trader Joe's, Costco, and these Napa wines from these one-off brands are going to last a year or two and disappear because there are people that can buy quality grapes at an inexpensive price. And also Constellation Brands, which was a huge wine spirits company, sold their more value wines off to Gallo, who didn't actually need the entire lines of all the wines they bought, which means there's going to be there's wines that are redundant in the Gallo portfolio and they don't really need that. So they're going to move them somewhere. Because there's always several vintages of these wines out there. So be looking in the next year or so for bargains out there. Wine labels like these Trader Joe Grand Reserves that just kind of show up because there's wines available out there. There's things happening. There's people selling off good wines. There's gluts like the Cabernet. There's these brands that Constellation sold to Gallo, and Gallo didn't need every single wine. So they're going to start getting rid of it. If you start seeing odd wines that you haven't seen before, wines that seem cheaper than they should be, go for it. That's happening. That's kind of one of the fun things about wine. If you guess wrong and it's underpriced and it's not your favorite wine, big deal. It's not that bad. You drink it anyway and go. Hopefully the next one's better. So there you go. Hopefully everybody's feeling well and not too tired of keeping secluded and wearing masks and starting to get out a little bit. It's don't know what's going on out there. You hear everything. But things should open up before too long and get better. But I think restaurants and everything else and summer gatherings are all going to be kind of weird this year. So keep drinking, get online, have some fun, and I'll talk to you later. And this is the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Chardonnay Napa Valley 2018 Lot 85. And this is cheapwinefinder.com. I'm Dave. Check us out and keep it cheap. And I'll be talking to you later. Adios. Bye-bye.